Hello everyone. Hi, this is my first talk at a tech event. We've had some thank you. We've had some really good talks. Nathaniel, I really liked your talk. Prina, great talk. I like the shrimps as well. I hope I can get Mr. Shrimpy. So my name is Osania, and I'm a front-end developer, and my background is a mixture of a recently completed computer science degree and also some self-directed learning of HTML, CSS and JavaScript. And I've been fortunate enough to have some help from mentors and people that I consider to be, you know, friends and people that help me and give me advice. And they helped me to pick up a lot of front-end concepts a lot quicker than I would have on my own. And tonight I want to share one of the things that I've learned on my journey, and it's been a concept called specificity. So, what is specificity? Okay, so specificity is a rule in CSS that tells the browser how it should give precedence to styles based on whether you use element tags, classes, or IDs. And there is an order of specificity that runs from the left to the right. Leftmost is an inline style. Then you have the inline styles I'm not really going to touch too much today. Then you have IDs. Then you have class, selectors, attribute selectors, and pseudo elements. And then you have elements and pseudo elements. So type selectors and pseudo elements are things like H1 tags and before and afters. Class attribute selectors and pseudo elements, so you have a class at the top and a pseudo element would be a hover and an ID selector. So as an example, a really simple example, what I've done is I've had a H1 and I've applied some styling via an element tag, a class, and an ID. And each thing has its own color. So the H1 was red, the class is blue, and the ID is green. And because the ID has the highest level of specificity, it is the thing that takes precedence. So the text that you're seeing is green because the class has the highest level of specificity. So where do the elephants come into it? To help me understand the concepts and kind of solidify it in my own mind, what I wanted to do was kind of form some kind of analogy that I could like attach to this thing so I could remember it. And so what I thought about was, a class would be equal to 1 elephant and an ID would be equal to 2 elephants. And essentially, if you put both of those things on an element, if you put both of those things on an element, because the 2 elephants are stronger than the 1 elephant, they would actually overrun the 1 elephant, and you're only left with the 2. Okay, so I also, whilst learning about the specificity, also realised that there were some considerations that I also had to understand and I got a bit better at. And these were, sorry, I'm fiddling with my papers. Understanding that why, rather than using highly specific ways of styling, it's preferable to do the opposite to what I've just described and use lower or less specific ways of styling. And so using selectors with a lower value rather than a high value would help to keep styles and code manageable and maintainable. And this kind of sounds slightly counterintuitive, but it can help to limit problems later on down the line and stop you having issues with styling and also help your code to scale. So again, just going back to a simple example, this is a really simple example of code with a few lines, but if you're going to scale something up, you may have issues if you're going to start to use different types of, once your project starts to get bigger and you have more lines of code to deal with, you want to be able to not have to worry about applying different styles from different places and them overriding each other. So to recap, specificity is a rule in CSS that tells the browser how it should give precedence to styles based on whether you use element tags, classes, or IDs. High specificity selectors will override lower specificity selectors, and keeping specificity low is preferable as this makes styles easier to manage and change. And thank you for listening. That was my talk.